Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys and the GABWA Foundation's 2018 Glitter Gala and Auction. Give yourselves a round of applause. I am your host this evening, Karen Greer, an investigative reporter and anchor at CBS 46. And I see so many friends here. It's so exciting to see the great work that GABWA is doing in our community. Our theme for this year's gala and auction is a starry affair, and I'm elated that each of you is here this evening to join us as we celebrate the recipients of the Founders Awards, extraordinary individuals and organizations that give so much of their time, their talents, their energy to improving and enriching the lives of Georgians right here in our community. We're also here to raise funds for GABWA Foundation, the charitable arm of GABWA, so that GABWA can continue to support its mission to galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate on behalf of women and children, and empower our communities. As a news anchor in this community for more than years, gosh, it's hard to say, almost 30 years I've been here. Wow. Probably as old as many of you are young. I've actually witnessed firsthand, though, some of the work that these ladies have been doing in our community, and the conviction. You know, I was just talking to one of the members, 38 years strong, is that what we said? 37 years strong. 37 years this has been going on right here, and the work has been phenomenal. I've witnessed the organization's mission. Indeed, these women and men set their sights on a goal or take on a cause and actually look out and are prepared in amazement as they will not be denied. It is the commitment and conviction that we will celebrate together this evening. As we enjoy our starry affair, we will certainly be attuned to our primary purpose this evening as we get a chance to enjoy each other. It is about raising some much-needed funds. For 35 years, the Foundation's 501c3 nonprofit organization has served as home to the charitable endeavors such as the Sister2Sister Mentoring Program, the Scholarship Program, the Youth Summit, the Community Health Fair, and the Wills Project. Each is a worthy and important program, so please bid generously at the silent auction and donate as much as you can to the GABWA Foundation. And if you have not had an opportunity yet, there's some fabulous items out there, and you're wondering you did not get a little bid device, because guess what? We know you all have cell phones, right? So you sign in on your cell phone, which I love. It makes it very user-friendly. And you see the item that you want, you just use your cell phone to make that bid. So if you want a getaway trip somewhere or some pampering, great artwork, some Beyonce lemonade stuff, it is all out there for you to enjoy. Now, as we enjoy, we want to make sure that all the programs are helped this evening, and you can just do so easily. All the proceeds will go to support the foundation and all of its programs. Now, the silent auction's right outside of the ballroom here. If you didn't have a chance and you were ushered right into the ballroom, it will end in 2 hours, 9 o'clock. And as you know, you can keep an eye on the items you're bidding on via your mobile device. So while you're texting, you can see what your items are getting. And all the pledges are being made electronically this evening, so we actually encourage an occasional glance at your iPhone or Android this evening. Now I invite GABWA's president, Rita Treadwell, and the GABWA Foundation president, Sonia, Natasha Brown, to the stage to bring greetings and the occasion. Please welcome them as they come to the stage. Looking fabulous, as I must say.
Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Black women make me feel invincible. It's the way that we walk, the way that we talk, our grace, our soul, our roots. It is the secret language that we share with one another, the way that we uplift one another at our very best and worst. Now, these words are Solange Knowles, but they resonate with me. It is such an immeasurable pleasure to serve as the 37th president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. Our 2018 GABWA theme is dynamic disruption, boldly advocating change. You'll hear more about that in a moment from Natasha Brown. When I reflect on the history of GABWA and all that we are accomplishing in 2018, the recent appointment of Shakura Ingram Milner to the Fulton County Superior Court, to a historic run to place the first Black woman in the governor's mansion, we are change agents. This evening, we're going to further that mission of this great organization to raise funds on behalf of our foundation, but to also celebrate our beauty, brilliance, and resilience. So thank you for joining us for a few hours of glamour and glitz to support the work of the GABWA Foundation and the mission of GABWA.
Well-behaved women seldom make history. In 1976, when Laurel Thatcher Ulrich wrote these words, she wasn't advocating for women to misbehave in order to be known, but rather she was lamenting that there are so many women who have made a positive impact on our society, but yet are overlooked by history. In 1981, there was a group of women who knew that they could not sit idly by if they wanted to make a difference in their communities. They were led by three dynamic disruptors who used their voice and their unique status as Black women attorneys to boldly advocate for change. Because of their dynamic disruption, 37 years later, we are standing on the shoulders of retired Justice Leah Ward Sears, Judge Barbara Harris, and Judge Bensonetta Tipton Lane. And I believe they all deserve a round of applause. And so on January 12th of 2018, at our first foundation board meeting of the year, I reminded the GABWA Foundation directors that we must take a stand as dynamic disruptors, and I challenged them to fulfill just one job this year. Our one job is to change lives and to save lives in a dynamic and bold way. That is what her story makers do. They disrupt the status quo when they see a need, and they are bold in their advocacy for change. So here we are tonight, 35 years after the GABWA Foundation was founded, fulfilling the work of Judge Gail Tucson, a dynamic disruptor who advocated for change when the foundation began under her presidency. And that is why we are all here tonight, to continue the legacy of being dynamic disruptors who are boldly changing our community one life at a time. Through your presence here tonight, you stand with us as dynamic disruptors and bold advocates for change by recognizing the important and impactful work that the foundation performs through its scholarship program and its nationally award-winning programs, the Sister2Sister Mentoring Program, and the Civil Pro Bono Wills Project. Each year, through our philanthropic work, GABWA women become life changers and life savers, her story makers and dynamic disruptors. Tonight, we need each one of you to stand with us as bold advocates for change. On occasions like these, we are reminded that dynamic disruption can only occur if we are willing to come together for one common goal of changing and saving lives. The GABWA Foundation has created dynamic disruption by changing the lives of hundreds of African-American female law students in Georgia through the awarding of over $400,000 in scholarships. We have saved lives by mentoring and providing guidance to more than 1,000 at-risk girls, and changed hundreds of more lives by assisting in bringing peace of mind to elder adults and the terminally ill by partnering with the Atlanta Legal Aid Society and providing wills and health directives at no cost. Yes, tonight is about us standing together as bold advocates for change in our community, dynamic disruptors who change and save lives through our giving and by lending a helping hand to those in need. But we are also here to celebrate tonight by recognizing those dynamic disruptors who are the recipients of GABWA's 2018 Founders Awards. These legal and community trailblazers who through their giving, work, and service are making history and changing our community one life at a time. So I thank every single one of you for being here tonight, and it is my sincere hope that you will leave here just a little differently than how you came in, ready to stand boldly, confidently, and courageously with us to interrupt the status quo as we nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate for women and children, and empower our communities. As we come together to celebrate a starry affair, I ask you to remember that although your names may not make the history book, you can help us to change a life and to save a life. For one smile can start a friendship. One word can end a fight. One look can save a relationship. And one person can change a life. And tonight we ask that that one person be you. Enjoy your evening.
Man, let's give her another round of applause. These legal eagles, these amazing women who are changing lives. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Rita Sonya, for your leadership, your vision. Now at this time, the GABWA Foundation would like to take this opportunity to give you a glimpse of what it does and why they do what they do. The reason we've asked each of you to participate and support GABWA's Glitter Gala Auction. Now, I'm going to also tell you right now, get the lettuce out of your teeth, because I see a photographer from CBS 46, so remember, you're not supposed to be eating yet. We want to see you smiling, all right? All right. So please welcome the 2014 GABWA Scholarship recipient. Her story will bring you to tears. I just was amazed when I read it. Natasha S.L. Banks, please join me. Her story is amazing, and the help that she has received from this organization will truly bring tears to your eyes.
Good evening. Y'all look so good. Luke chapter 12, verse 48 reads, "To whom much is given, from him much is expected." In other words, to whom much is given, much is required. Can I get you to repeat that after me? To whom much is given, much is required. My name is Natasha Sarah Lorraine Banks, a 2014 GABWA Foundation Scholarship recipient, a 2016 cum laude graduate from Mercer Law School, and a second-year attorney with Fisher Phillips here in Atlanta. I stand before you this evening only because I had a praying grandfather. I had a praying grandmother. I had a praying mother, and I had a praying father. People were strategically placed in my life to fill the gap, to encourage me, uplift me, empower me when I could not do it on my own. People that believed in me even when I fell short. People who recognized talent in me that I didn't even know was there. People that told me yes when all I saw was closed doors. Now, if you sit back in your chairs and flip through the Rolodex of your mind, faces and names of those who did the same for you will probably appear. I did not get here alone, and you did not get here alone. To whom much is given, much is required. It was on March 21st, 2012. Almost a year and a half before I began law school, that my life changed. I lost one of the biggest supporters. My dad died. A man that always pushed me to be excellent, someone who never allowed me to be mediocre. He saw greatness in me that I never even knew existed. And although in that moment, I felt like I couldn't make it, I really did. But I decided to use my pain as my power. Losing him changed me. I resigned from my 9-year career in sales and recruiting, and I decided to go back to school and pursue law at the age of ... Put your calculators away, put your calculators away. In all honesty, this was very scary. It was frightening. I'm from Chicago, and when I grew up, I didn't know judges, lawyers, I didn't know any law school graduates, so I really didn't know if I would be successful or what to expect. But upon entering law school, I joined the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, otherwise known as GABWA, as a student member. And GABWA nurtured me, exposed me to members who have become mentors, friends, supporters, resources, encouragement. And here's the secret. The beauty of it all is they are all successful legal professionals that look just like me. Needless to say, GABWA stood in the gap for me. In the fall of 2014, GABWA and the GABWA Foundation advertised its application for the annual GABWA Foundation Scholarship. I applied, interviewed, and was fortunate enough to be named a 2014 GABWA Foundation Scholarship recipient. I was so honored and thankful. The scholarship was a blessing to me. Because as you know, in law school, we are what they call balling on a budget, right? A very, very tight budget. And the GABWA Foundation Scholarship benefited me financially. It allowed me to purchase books and supplies for school, such as law school supplements, you know, the horn books, things of that sort. But let me take it one step further. The GABWA Foundation Scholarship not only gave me financial support, but it showed me that people who look like me believe in me, my talent, my career, my future. And it's nothing like getting support from your family and your own community. To whom much is given, much is required. It is our responsibility to pour into the next generation because we are held responsible for what we have. You see, Luke chapter 12, verse 48 goes on to say, "And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more." Do you know where I'm going with this? I saw a quote recently that said, "Do not judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." When GABWA and the GABWA Foundation had their gala in 2014, someone sat in the audience that night, planted a seed, and invested in me and lost students like myself. Unbeknownst to those who donated to the foundation scholarship that year, it was to pour into and cultivate me and lost students like myself. Now, with their help, I can say I graduated from Mercer Law with honors. I work for an AmLaw 200 law firm. I am a licensed attorney, and I'm doing it all while being unapologetically Black. We have to continue to carry the torch forward. Without my father, I did not think I would make it to where I am today. But God. I was blessed with a village that stood in the gap. GABWA and the GABWA Foundation was and continues to be a part of my village. Today, we ask that you plant a seed. Give so that more lawyers like you and like me can continue for generations to come. How can we be dynamic disruptors, boldly advocating for change, if we don't even invest in our own future? Your donation gives the resources, the support, and the empowerment that will propel another to be greater than he or she ever imagined. Not only will your donation further the education and career goals of a law student, but it also funds the GABWA Foundation Sister2Sister Mentoring Program and the Pro Bono Wills Project. Honor those who gave to you, because to whom much is given, much is required. Thank you.
Awesome job. Thank you so much. We'll now have the invocation given by Reverend Yvette Massey, the Associate Director of Congressional Excellence in the North Georgia Conference of the United Methodist Church. Following the invocation, entrees will be served. So please welcome Reverend Massey to the stage.
Good evening to Rita Treadwell and Sonia Natasha Brown, and to the lovely ladies of GABWA. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you once again. As I reflect on all that we have heard thus far, two words stood out in my mind, and now I just forgot them. Dynamic disruption. And as I think of those two words, two women popped into my mind from the biblical text. And those are the two women of Vashti and Esther. You may be familiar with Vashti. She was a queen. Her husband, King Artaxerxes, summoned her and gave her an indecent proposal. He wanted her to expose herself, but instead of selling herself short, she said no and determined her own value. She became a dynamic disruption. She bowed out with grace, so that Esther could walk in with grace and assume the queenship. And as she did so, she too became a dynamic disruption as she foiled the plan of Haman and used her voice and her position to change and save thousands of lives of her people. On this starry affair, on this evening, it's upon shoulders like these that you, the women of GABWA, and the awardees stand on this evening. So we celebrate you in these 37 years and all of your accomplishments, and we stand as your champions, applauding you as you continue forward in your mission and challenge. With that in mind, let us pause for a moment of prayer. Lord God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you right now, thanking you for this evening and for the occasion by which we gather. We come right now lifting up the women of GABWA, asking that you will continue to pour your blessings out upon them. Lord, as they continue to bless your sons and your daughters who are pursuing a career in the legal field, God, we ask that you would not allow them to stand alone, but that you would cause all of us to not only stand as their cheerleaders, but that we would stand alongside them and invest in them as they invest in the future of younger brothers and sisters. Lord God, as we prepare to break bread one with another and with your spirit, we thank you for the food that we are about to receive. We ask that it would nourish and strengthen our bodies as this organization does inspire and strengthen those who are pursuing the goal. Lord, we are so grateful for what you are providing for us, and we are mindful of all of those who do not have enough to eat. God, we just ask that you will continue to bless us so that we in turn would be a blessing. It's in the matchless name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Please join me as I welcome Lisa Collins to the stage for recognition of sponsors and special guests.
Good evening, and welcome again to Astoria Fair, the 2018 Glitter Gala and Auction. My name is Lisa Collins, and I've had the distinct honor as serving as the Gala Chair for the last 3 years. With me is Maria Banjo, the Gala Co-Chair for this evening. We are pleased to recognize our special guests for the evening.
I will begin by asking GABWA's founders, founding members, past presidents to please stand at this time to be recognized. It is because of these exceptional women that their leadership that GABWA is able to do the work that we do today. Thank you. Next, I would like to ask the GABWA Executive Board and GABWA Foundation Board of Directors to stand and also be recognized at this time. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. I would now like to acknowledge all members of the judiciary who are with us this evening. Please stand so that our audience will have the opportunity to see each of you. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to recognize the elected officials that are here with us tonight. Please stand just for a moment so that our audience will have an opportunity to see all of you as well. Thank you. Also, I would like to recognize the leaders of our state bar and all the members of either the executive board or the board of governors. Please stand. Thank you. Further, I would like to recognize any presidents, board members of other bar organizations present with us tonight. Would you also please stand? Thank you. Finally, if there are any candidates for political office here with us tonight, I ask that you stand at this time so you may also be recognized. Thank you. Everyone, please join me in welcoming all of our distinguished guests for the evening.
And now for our sponsors. Each of the sponsoring firms, businesses, and organization has given its generous financial support to tonight's event. By doing so, they have demonstrated their commitment to furthering the work of GABWA and the GABWA Foundation in the community. Our platinum sponsor, the extraordinary C.K. Hoffler and her firm, the C.K. Hoffler Firm. Our gold sponsor, Nelson Mullins. Our silver sponsors, Alston and Bird, Baker Hostetler, the Home Depot, our bronze sponsors, Baker Donaldson, Bulch and Bingham, Benzo Law, Gordon and Reese, Fred Hicks and HEG Consulting, Jones Day, Morgan and Morgan, Pope McGlamory, Smith Gambrell and Russell, the State Bar of Georgia, Taylor English, Thomas Reuters, and Troutman Sanders. Our friends of GABWA, the Association of Corporate Counsel, Georgia Chapter, Charlotte Combre, Cox Enterprises, Davis Bozeman Law, Deborah DeBerry, Clerk of DeKalb County Superior Court, Edmund Lindsay and Hoffler, Fisher Phillips, Gabe Banks, Georgia Association for Women Lawyers, Greenberg Trowing, Hampton University Alumni, Atlanta Chapter, Hawkins Parnell Thaxton and Young, Holland and Knight, Kilpatrick Townsend, King and Spalding, Lakeitha Carlos, past president 2010, McKesson, Ogletree Deacons, Seyfried Shaw, Sonia Natasha Brown, Swift Curry, the Cochran Firm, Atlanta, the firm of Don M. Jones, the Honorable Asha Jackson, the Gate City Bar Association, the Hatchet Firm, the Law Office of Erica Wilson, the Partners Group, and the University of Georgia School of Law. We also have a number of GABWA members, business persons, firms, and others who signed on to our host committee. I ask that all host committee members please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. We wish to thank each and every one of our sponsors. It is because of each of you that tonight is such a success. Please join us in thanking all of the 2018 Glitter Gala and Auction sponsors.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's get a big round of applause for all of the sponsors one more time. Would now like to welcome Auction Committee Chair Jillian Crowell to share with you a few words about this evening's silent auction and why this is so important.
Good evening. I'm Jillian Crowell, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the 2018 Auction Committee Chair. And on behalf of the Auction Committee, I would like to thank you for joining us this evening to salute our 2018 Founders Award recipients and to support the GABWA Foundation. I'm hopeful that at the start of this evening's events, you had a chance to peruse our wonderful auction items, which include memorabilia signed by Whitney Houston, Beyonce, and Magic Johnson, wonderful vacation packages, and a VIP ticket to the Taste of Atlanta. As you know, the auction proceeds support the GABWA Foundation's wonderful initiatives, so I encourage you all to bid high and bid often. The auction will close promptly at 9 p.m., so I encourage you to continue to check your phones to make sure that you are the winning bidder for the items you are interested in. Now, if you have not already registered for the auction, you can text GABWA Gala 2018 to 24700 to register for tonight's auction. There are also a number of folks in the room that have information about how to register and can help you not only register, but bid on any events, any items that you may be interested in. So again, we thank you for the support of the GABWA auction, and thank you for coming to tonight's wonderful festivities. Have a good evening.
Okay, I'm not letting Jillian leave yet. Please take out your phones. All right, Jillian, let's get step-by-step directions. Everybody have their phone in hand? Come on, guys, I'm looking. All right, what do we need to do?
Sex. Capital G, A, B, W, A, capital G, ALA, 2018 to 24700. Once you,
Okay, so wait. Get to that text thing on your phone and put in what first?
GABWA Gala 2018, make sure the GABWA, yeah, all one word, and the GABWA and the G in Gala are all capital. And once you send that message, you will get a text message back telling you how to register for the auction. 247, I heard somebody say, what number? 24700.
Good, I'd love to see participation. Everybody at the table should be looking at your phone right now.
And if your neighbor has not registered, make sure you do give them a little nudge to make sure they register.
That's why we're here, honestly. I'm joking about it, but I really would like to see everybody sign up for the auction.
They're
Okay.
wonderful items. There's a signed copy of lemonade, folks.
Oh, yeah.
One
One
more
more time. All right. Stand by. Some people are still asking questions. See, they're helping each other, so.
That's right. It's GABWA Gala 2018, all one word, and GABWA and the G in Gala are capital. And the number that you text that to is 24700. Look at that. That is also how you will register to pledge donations. And look, someone just pledged $50 and their name is already on the board. You're going to hear a lot more about pledging later on, but that's the same thing. GABWA Gala 2018 to 24700.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Jillian. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I just wanted to make sure you got used to that because it is a little different, and I know I had a little issue at first. I call myself technologically savvy, but sometimes it's a little tough. All right. We are going to move on right now. You know what's going on with the bids. There are some amazing items. Hopefully you've had a chance to see some of that. Artwork, trips, music, sports memorabilia. There is a little of everything. Something for everyone to grab. At this time, we will have the presentation of the 2018 Founders Awards. At your leisure, so that we don't eat up any unnecessary time, I would encourage you to peruse the biographies of the award recipients. And they're all printed in your souvenir booklet. And in what has become a GABWA tradition, each award recipient will be featured in a brief vignette so that you will have an opportunity to see and hear about their many accomplishments and their respective commitments to their community, their family, and their profession. Shh. Thank you. Presenting their individual Founders Awards tonight are all three of the GABWA founders, which is amazing for them to all be here this evening, for whom the Founders Awards are actually named. We are so honored and excited to have with us tonight Justice Leah Ward Sears, who was also GABWA's first president, the Honorable Barbara A. Harris, and the Honorable Bensonetta Tipton Lane. So if I can have all of these fabulous ladies join me on the stage. Former Justice Leah Ward Sears served as the first president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. Justice Sears was the first African-American woman to serve as a Superior Court judge in the state of Georgia. In 2005, Justice Sears became the first Black woman to serve as Chief Justice of the Georgia Supreme Court. Justice Sears is presently a partner at Smith, Gambrell, and Russell. Judge Bensonetta Tipton Lane was first appointed to the Superior Court of Fulton County in 1995 and retired in 2016 in the court's Family Law Division. Prior to her accession into the Superior Court bench, Judge Lane served as judge on the City Court of Atlanta and as administrative law judge for the Georgia Department of Medical Assistance. Judge Barbara A. Harris became the first woman appointed to serve as chief judge of the Atlanta Municipal Court in June of 1992, and in that position, she oversaw the relocation of the court from the police headquarters to expanded facilities as well as budgetary and personnel matters. This year marks Judge Harris's 33rd year on the Atlanta Municipal Court. Rita Treadwell, Lisa Collins, please join me on the stage as well to help present the awards.
I think the video plays. Okay.
Our first award of the evening will be presented to C.K. Hoffler, the founder and principal of the C.K. Hoffler firm. Ms. Hoffler is this year's recipient of the Leah Ward Sears Award for Distinction in the Profession. I ask that you direct your attention to the video screen, feature honoree C.K. Hoffler.
Tricia, or we know her as C.K. Hoffler, is an extraordinary lawyer. She exudes professionalism and ethics and competence. She is always there for folks. She reflects this Leah Ward Sears Award because she is such an excellent and competent professional.
Well, I've been blessed because I come from an extraordinary village, a family that sacrificed so much so that I could have just these incredible experiences.
Tricia C.K. Hoffler was born in Buffalo, New York. She attended Collège de Lumont, an international school in Switzerland for elementary and middle school. She then attended Branksome Hall Girls' School in Toronto, Canada, where she was an Ontario Scholar and received her high school diploma.
She did 5 years of Branksome in 4 years, and that meant that when it came time to choose the head girl, she won very handily. She stood up in front of us and said, "Well, here I am, looking very Scotch." And we said, "You certainly are. We embrace you then, and we embrace you now," as did Branksome, as did all of Toronto, and I know everyone in Atlanta, Georgia does too.
It was never a problem to get your homework. It was never a problem to be on time. Those things just got locked into them, and I think it brought her on. I always say she speaks 5, 6, 7, so I don't know, but I know she speaks at least 3 or 4 languages well, and been complimented by those countries where she speaks the foreign language.
C.K. attended undergraduate school at Smith College in Massachusetts, where she once again graduated with honors. She continued her education going back to Switzerland and then to the Georgetown University Law Center in Washington, D.C., where she received her law degree in 1987.
When C.K. and I met in law school, it was clear that she was going to be a mover and a shaker. We worked at the same law firm. She represented countries like Gabon, and she spoke in many languages, and she represented all kinds of people. She is really the intersection of very hard work and brilliance. And when I became president of the National Bar Association, I could think of only one person to serve in the role of general counsel, and it was C.K. Hoffler.
C.K. was the lead department head for the commercial and international department at the Gary Law Firm. In one of our first employment cases, I believe it was about 40 individuals, and C.K., along with Mr. Gary, settled the case pre-suit for $186 million.
C.K. Hoffler impressed us when she was just a young lady getting ready to go off to law school. I knew, without a doubt, there was no question about the fact that she was destined for greatness.
I mean, we had settlements from $186 million, $136 million. 103 million. It just goes on and on and on.
Well, certainly, I mean, her track record is phenomenal with respect to not only settlements, but also with respect to verdicts. We have worked together on a number of cases that have resulted in substantial verdicts on behalf of deserving clients.
And I know that the result of the $800 million, did I say $800 million? Wow. The $800 million that she has been able to collect on behalf of her clients is a direct result of all of the work, the grinding that goes on behind the scenes. When you recommend a client to CK, you know that you are sending a client to a person who will have compassion for them and what they have gone through, who will listen to their story, and who will find a way to make others understand what their story is all about.
If CK is in the room going up against 4 seasoned male lawyers, I'll call that a fair fight.
My daughter's a professor of anthropology and she works in human rights. When she was in Africa, she was detained by the Algerian government. An ordeal that could have ended as several years in a foreign prison, or even worse, as we've seen in the news, was resolved quickly by CK. What the United States government could not do, CK and Reverend Jackson accomplished brilliantly.
Of my entire professional career, one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had as a lawyer has been to represent Reverend Jackson, his family, his organizations. Because since I've never been blessed and had the luxury of working in the public sector, my way of giving back is to give back to the civil rights movement. Because Reverend Jackson, his organizations, his family have done so much for this country, for many of us. And so that was my way of giving back.
Beautiful to me to see a young, able lawyer with such promise. But that's just the first step, because people care that you know that you're bright. Ultimately, they must know that you care.
She's just a great friend. She is kind, she is giving, she's smart, she's fun, and I just love her to death.
She's loyal, dedicated, and I can't say enough about her, and I love her. And she's most deserving of this award.
Congratulations.
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 Thank you for being who you are.
God bless you, CK, and through it all, my dear, keep on fighting and keep hope alive.
To GABWA, I say thank you. I love you, and as long as I am alive and have the ability to speak, I will support, honor, and treasure you, and I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Tricia C.K. Hoffler.
CK has long demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the highest professional and ethical standards, as well as legal excellence in the practice of law. And in doing so, she has taught so many of us what it means to live a life with purpose, a life that always looks with intense focus and passion at the goal and defies all the odds in the pursuit of the same. Such a life always rises in the times of despair, often clinging unto God in moments when strength gives out, to go forward energized by a single-eyed determination and a burning desire to excel. That kind of purpose has never allowed CK to be too distracted by the frivolous. Rather, she has always been decisive in action, judicious in her use of time, and wise in the investments of her many talents and treasures. And that's why CK has persevered. She has always known where she's headed and why she's trying to get there. She knows intuitively that it's not just the takeoff or the flying that matters, but what counts is how you finally land. Because when you look back, you want to find, as CK can, that you have made an immense impact on the lives of so many people that you care about. that you've stayed true to your purpose and that you've never given up or given in. In reminding you tonight of all of CK's accomplishments, these three words keep coming to mind: excellent, involved, and determined. I know that you will all take pleasure in showing CK Hoffler your appreciation tonight once again for her many years of excellent work, her involvement, and her determination. Congratulations.
CK just wants to thank everyone. She's very, very happy to have this award. It's a very well-deserved award, so she just wanted to thank everyone in the audience from her. So thank you.
All right, CK, you know I had to ask your dad what CK stands for. All these years. I was like, what is CK? C cakes. So now we know. All right. Our second award of the evening will be presented to the Honorable Asha Jackson of DeKalb County Superior Court. My Jack and Jill sister, who I saw in the elevator earlier this evening. She is the recipient of the Barbara A. Harris Award for Service to the Community. Please direct your attention to the video screen featuring honoree Judge Jackson.
The Honorable Asha F. Jackson is a Superior Court judge in DeKalb County, Georgia, where she was appointed to the bench in 2012 and was elected and re-elected in uncontested races in 2014 and 2018.
I think I was one of those people who always knew I wanted to be a judge. I've told this story many times before, but it's true. I went to the after-school program hosted by the Campbellton Road YMCA in Atlanta, and when we would play court, we would play People's Court. That was when Judge Wapner was the judge on the People's Court. Everyone else wanted the role of attorney or witness, and I always said, I want to be the judge.
I've known Asha since high school. We both attended Frederick Douglass High School, and we met in high school. And it was then that I observed and I realized that Asha is somebody who has a passion and a heart for service.
Prior to becoming a judge, Judge Jackson was a partner for two prominent national law firms.
She was a few years behind me, but even though she was a few years behind me, I would often call her and get advice about the law or different issues that I had.
Most people would say that she's probably one of the formidable forces that the defense bar is seeing as it relates to civil cases.
In her current position, Judge Jackson presides over more than 1,000 civil, criminal, and domestic cases assigned to her division.
Judge Jackson seems to have limitless passion, energy, and time for giving herself back to this community and trying to make it a better place, a safer place, and in unique and creative ways.
Because of her passionate commitment to the community and belief in young people, she created Project Pinnacle with the goal to discourage offenders from committing further offenses by providing them with life skills training, GED and technical school assistance, and moral recognition workshops.
You know, that's one of her pet projects, and really it's par for the course for her.
It is an anti-recidivism effort, and to date, this is the 8th group, and none have returned to the criminal justice system.
The way that I describe Asha is a waymaker, and she has really used the platform that God has given her for the benefit of the kingdom. The work that she's done with Project Pinnacle is no less than phenomenal. She is changing lives every single day, changing lives
for the better.
Judge Jackson also created and presides over her court's first felony mental health accountability court, an extensive 2-year court program for persons charged with felonies whose crimes are a derivative of their mental illness.
It's just beautiful how you can see her passion and how much she cares to uplift a lot of people who suffer from mental illnesses who would get lost in the justice system otherwise.
They now have a very clear diagnosis and a path to being able to remain healthy, and most importantly, to staying out of our jails and prisons in the state.
I just feel like Judge Jackson is a truly remarkable example of what you can achieve if you devote yourself to your community.
For her service and for her commitment, I certainly say thank you.
Congratulations, you so deserve it. Keep dishing that black girl magic every day.
Well, I feel very blessed to have a great family legacy. My grandmother, for as long as I can remember, was active in Suburban League and our sorority, and my grandfather was an airman at Tuskegee, and so that's all I've ever known is service. And as for GABWA, the love that I have for this organization, the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, it goes without saying that you are the most amazing group of women and men that I've ever met in life. And so I salute you and I thank you for recognizing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute the Honorable Judge Asha F. Jackson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Barbara Harris, retired, and I am more than pleased to present an award in my name to Asha Jackson. I've known Asha since she was in high school. Focused, determined, passionate even then, and it shows even more now. Anyone who has someone to follow them from high school through their career, they must be very special. And her high school people are here. If you want to stand and be recognized, please do that. Asha, you have a passion for and caring for the unrecognized in our society. It takes a very special person to handle a mental health court because most people just want to forget about those people, but not you. And I treasure you for that. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. My mother wanted to come up here, so I'm going to say that, so thank you to everybody. While Mrs. Jackson is coming, I've been advised that her birthday was this week, my birthday was this week, and all of the July girls of GABWA have donated money in honor of Asha and Rita Hansen, who was the first recipient of the Barbara Harris Award.
And I couldn't let this go by. This is Averita Hansen's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Once again, big congratulations to the Honorable Asha Jackson. And our third award of the evening will be presented to Ms. Sonia Natasha Brown, the Director of Community Affairs and Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney with the Office of the DeKalb County District Attorney, Stone Mountain Judicial Circuit. She is the recipient of the Bensonetta Tipton Lane Award for commitment to the family. I ask that you direct your attention to the video screens featuring honoree Sonia Natasha Brown.
Sonia Natasha Brown is the Director of Community Affairs, Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney with the Office of the DeKalb County District Attorney. Sonia earned her Juris Doctor at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School and her undergraduate degree from Clark Atlanta University, where she graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Media Arts.
So I think that the role that Sonia has played, beginning with her prosecution role in the Fulton District Attorney's Office, where she ultimately was assigned to prosecute crimes committed against women and children, to the work that she did in the DeKalb Solicitor's Office, and currently the work that she's doing in the DeKalb District Attorney's Office. All events, the kind of commitment that this award is intended to recognize. Sonia has long been an advocate for women and children, and in that role she has been instrumental in keeping families connected and protected to ensure that the first institution ordained by God remains intact to the extent that she is able.
I met Sonia back in 2009 when she was the president of GABWA, and I was working at the Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation as the director of their domestic violence project. We worked together on a project to train GABWA members on how to represent survivors of domestic violence in civil temporary protective order hearings. Sonia gets the big picture. She is always thinking about what do families and children need in our community to be safer, to be more stable, and to be successful. That's what she brings to the work every day.
She is by far one of my greatest and most organized surrogates. Not only can Sonia go down to the courtroom and try a case, she can go out into the community and serve as my liaison. She can go out in the community and speak with the leaders and activists. She can go out in the community and speak to police. There is nothing that Sonia Brown can't do.
You want to treat people the way Sonia treats people. She gives up herself, and it's more of her actions. It's more of what she does, not just speaking about it, but actively engaging in community, actively being part of various organizations. Every year around November, I look at her because she sleeps out for the Covenant House, and that's an organization that advocates for young teens and children who are homeless. And every year, as a part of her ministry, she sleeps out in order to raise awareness about teens, homeless teens, as well as to raise funds. And you look at a woman who just not just talks about giving back to the community, but actively engages in it. And that's when you talk about being a role model. I think role models, action speaking louder than words.
Sonia is also a minister, serving at the historic Central United Methodist Church in Atlanta, as well as the Board of Trustees of the North Georgia United Methodist Conference.
There are a lot of folks in this office that participate in her Wednesday morning prayer circles to start their day, and that have benefited from her positive wisdom and from her spiritual guidance and grace.
She pours into her family. She loves her nieces and nephews. She pours into her community. She pours into young women. She pours into children. And so I watch her actions, and that's why I think she's a role model, because of what she does, not just what she says, but what she does.
I just have to say thank you to GABWA, my beloved GABWA. I have grown up in this organization. I have been nurtured. I have been supported. I have been encouraged. And I would not have this award without GABWA and without all of the love that she and all of her members have shown me. And so I want to say thank you to GABWA, to all of my mentors, to all of my friends, to my colleagues, and to encourage you to continue to stay in this fight, to encourage you to continue to be a voice for the voiceless, to encourage you to advocate for women and children, and to encourage you to empower our communities, and to encourage you to always be willing to stand on the side of right. And I think that's who GABWA is and who GABWA will continue to be. And so I am beyond humbled and beyond honored to be receiving this award that is named after one of my heroes, Bensonetta Tipton Lane. And so I just want to simply say thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Sonia Natasha Brown.
Sonia has served for many years as a champion for victims of sexual abuse, physical abuse, and abused children. She has taken this fight to the community, where she has educated, raised awareness, and trained others to do battle. Sonia, I am honored that an award bearing my name celebrates you. I am proud to present to you an honor you richly deserve.
Okay, everybody.
At this time, we will now have the presentation of our recipients, the 2018 Zenith Awards. One more time for our 3 recipients there for the wonderful work they have done.
Linda Klein has led the change in expanding the role of women in the legal profession. She has expanded legal services for indigent victims of domestic violence and for our veterans. Please join me in congratulating Linda Klein as she joins us on stage. Please direct your attention to the video vignette for Linda Klein.
Linda A. Klein is Senior Managing Shareholder at Baker Donaldson and is the immediate past president of the American Bar Association, one of the largest voluntary professional membership organizations in the world. Her practice includes most types of business dispute resolution, including contract law, employment law, and professional liability.
I think that I was raised with a keen understanding of what it meant to help people by knowing all 4 of my grandparents. And my grandfather was a grocer during the Depression, and he told me about how difficult it was when people didn't have anything to eat. And he told me it was important to always treat people with respect and dignity, and how helping your friends and neighbors was really the way to live a full life.
I'm a huge fan of hers because I think she brings together all the things you want in a great leader: compassion, intelligence, dedication, humility, and she is a very kind person. She looks out for people who need help.
In June of 1997, Klein became the first woman to serve as president of the State Bar of Georgia, and during her term, she devised a proposal and advocated for the state to allocate funding to help indigent victims of domestic violence get legal help. She also organized a statewide group of community organizations and local and minority bar associations that together convinced the General Assembly to appropriate $2 million. Since then, the annual appropriations have helped thousands in Georgia with legal issues related to domestic violence.
She's a trailblazer. She is always the first in order to take those bumps and bruises so that young attorneys like myself don't have to go through those challenges when we come after her.
It is really the impact that she has had when she has sat in those seats. She has reached across the aisle in many of those at those tables to say, how can I help someone who would not have been able to sit in those seats?
She's just a rare breed. I haven't met many women like her who have ascended to the levels to which she's ascended and still are incredibly accessible and responsive and empathetic, to be perfectly honest, in touch with needs of average folks. Maybe they're out there, but if they are, I haven't come across them. And so I'm just always impressed by her ability to kind of keep her feet on the ground while she's having these really important conversations with heads of state, and very, C-level executives in these organizations and corporations. She seems to be just as at home with those folks as she is with folks like me, people who are trying to launch startups that are, focused on making a difference.
I would like to give Linda Klein a huge congratulations for receiving the Zenith Award for Distinction in the Profession.
You understand what equity looks like, and I applaud you for being recognized for all of the success that not that just you have received, but the success that you have allowed others to achieve.
You really honored someone who really deserves this honor. So Linda, congratulations, and I wish I could be there. And congratulations to this great organization. We need people like you and organizations like your organization. Thank you very much.
I want to thank everyone at GABWA. I've been a member for so many years, and to be honored in this way by people that I've admired and worked with together for so many years has a very special meaning to me. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for giving me this most prestigious honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Linda A. Klein.
Trailblazer, a bump and bruise taker for us. Thank you for your graciousness.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our second recipient of the Zenith Award is a nonprofit organization that is being honored for its service to the community, the Chick-fil-A Foundation. Please direct your attention to the video screen featuring the Chick-fil-A Foundation.
As we all know, Truett Cathy founded a company years ago that serves delicious chicken sandwiches. But it's my understanding that Truett's true joy was not in just serving chicken sandwiches, but rather in serving people and being involved in the customers' lives and being involved in the community and making the community better. Well, in his latter years, Truett passed on the company and the legacy that he built to his children, one of his children being Dan Cathy, who's doing a remarkable job in leading this company every day. I can only imagine that when Dan Cathy and his siblings were trying to figure out who the next leader of the foundation would be, that they wanted a remarkable person. And I will submit that they found that person in Rodney Bullard.
Rodney Bullard is the Vice President of Community Affairs at Chick-fil-A Incorporated and Executive Director of the Chick-fil-A Foundation, where he leads the company's corporate community and philanthropic strategy focused on fostering youth and furthering education.
I came to Chick-fil-A from a career in the Air Force, and I came to Chick-fil-A from a career as a lawyer. And I met Dan Cathy, and I immediately hit it off with Dan because he shared, although we come from very different places, we shared this conviction for helping other people. And the Chick-fil-A Foundation is purposed towards ensuring that every child grows up to be everything that they were created to be, regardless of whether that child's grown up in poverty, regardless of whether that child grows up on the wrong side of the tracks physically. We want to make sure that every child is given the opportunity of exposure, every child is given the opportunity of hope, and every child moves from one place of economics and society to the next place. So we do that through a host of ways. We do that through our own native programming. So we've had a camp on the campus of Morehouse College for the past 6 years. And during those 6 years, we've gotten a chance to know a specific cohort of kids. We have it on the campus of Morehouse because we want these kids, many of whom who live a stone's throw away from Morehouse, so that they can feel that, be exposed to that, be exposed to the students, be exposed to the administration, and to dream and to aspire. And so we've had that camp for the last 6 years, but we also have programs throughout the country. We have programs with junior achievement in over 22 different cities. We touched over 5 million families this past year. We have all sorts of efforts going on here in Atlanta, specifically on the west side of Atlanta, where we're a part of numerous capital projects to rebuild and revitalize that neighborhood in a way that's respectful to the legacy residents.
Rodney Bullard is just an extraordinary individual. That he is heading up the Chick-fil-A Foundation is not by accident, because he is just that extraordinary. He's an extraordinary lawyer, he's an extraordinary father, he's an extraordinary husband, he's an extraordinary philanthropist, he is an extraordinary business person, and he has so much heart and soul and generosity for doing good.
I am absolutely tickled that Rodney Bullard has grown to be the person that he is. Rodney and I grew up down the street, Alameda Hermosa, and so I am thrilled with the work that he is doing. Congratulations, Rodney. You were wonderful as a child, you were a giver, you were caring, and that has continued into the legacy that you are leaving while you're at Chick-fil-A. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chick-fil-A Foundation, Dan Cathy, Rodney Bullard, for not only serving us delicious chicken sandwiches, but for making our communities better every day.
I'm very humbled and honored to receive this award. I could not be in the midst of greater leaders. I could not be in the midst of greater heroes. I recently got a chance to write a book called Heroes Wanted. And Heroes Wanted has a very simple premise, that we all are called to be someone else's hero. And we all have not only calling, but we have the responsibility and the ability to do so. Each one of the members of GABWA that I know, that I've affiliated with, has answered that call ably. And so I'm proud to be in the midst of this organization, and I'm honored by this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Rodney Bullard and the Chick-fil-A Foundation.
The Chick-fil-A Foundation's Executive Director, Rodney Bullard, understands the importance of providing measurable positive influence through innovative giving, improving our communities and the people in those communities. Please join me in congratulating the Chick-fil-A Foundation. Accepting the award on behalf of the Chick-fil-A Foundation is Mr. Rodney Bullard, Vice President of Community Affairs for Chick-fil-A Inc. and Executive Director of the Chick-fil-A Foundation. Thank you.
And we want to say once again, thank you for being a bronze sponsor of Chick-fil-A Foundation. So, our next award recipient, the Davis Bozeman Law Firm. The Davis Bozeman Law Firm has helped lead the charge to a higher call of action for each of us as attorneys, as people of color, and for those who advocate on our behalf to push for the arc of justice. Please join me in congratulating the Davis Bozeman Law Firm, and accepting the award on behalf of the Davis Bozeman Law Firm is Mr. Robert Bozeman. Please welcome Mr. Bozeman to the stage. Direct your attention to the screen as the video plays regarding their great work.
The Davis Bozeman Law Firm is a South DeKalb County community-based institution created to provide the highest quality of legal services in the areas of personal injury, civil rights, and wrongful death. Attorneys Maoli Davis and Robert Bozeman met while attending Georgia State University's School of Law. Harold Spence served as a mentor to them both before joining the firm in 2016. Today, the firm proudly accepts their reputation as the legal guardians of the Black community.
We were intentional about basing our firm in South DeKalb, with about a mile and a half from where Rob grew up. We were intentional about being here and bringing quality representation and fighting in the interest of our people when we feel as though they have been wronged, they've been victimized, disrespected. I mean, you name it. I say we practice black law. That means when black folk are hurt or harmed, we try to step up.
Tonight, new details about the man accused of intentionally setting the massive fire that took down this major Atlanta highway.
The 1 year anniversary today, right?
1 year.
1 year ago today?
Yes, sir.
Where were you 1 year ago today?
Man, I wasn't where I'm at now.
Better place?
Much better place, sir.
I didn't really know for sure, but I knew when I first seen Miley and Tiffany and all them, after all the lawyers that kept trying to come at me, I realized that they was coming, the Miley's team was coming at me in a genuine type of way.
One thing that's different and one thing that we were able to provide for Basil is our firm has a community affairs department. And rarely will you see a law firm that will spend money on non-legal personnel. But we hire a full-time community affairs coordinator that helps our clients. We have clients who may be amputees that need services. We have clients like Basil who were homeless for over a decade who need services, health services, mental health services.
From the day that the firm opened, both of the partners that originally started the firm, Rob Bozeman and Molly Davis, they were dedicated to there being a community involvement division. And the community typically has a large degree of discomfort with what they do understand about the law. So the Know Your Rights component of the Division of Community Affairs is always ongoing. We have partnerships with existing community organizations like Let Us Make Mans. We have our internship program that also falls underneath that. We have speaking engagements. I think the speaking component of the firm is just as important from an educational standpoint as the specific workshops. And we find a way to make sure that our law firm is connected to the community through our coalition work.
Outside looking in, when I was looking for employment or an opportunity, this was the only firm that was actively involved in the community, whether it was through activism, simply educating the community on what they can or cannot do, the simpler things that they need. But it just provided me with a way to show that I can do both at the same time. Being a lawyer is not only about being an advocate on documents or simply in the courtroom. It's about advocating for the community in their everyday lives.
Molly has done so much. Molly and Rob, they are members of our board. They've helped to fundraise. They've come to the school and talked to our students. I mean, it's great for them to see these powerful Black men who have a successful business, but also see social change as, a landmark of their work.
I can't thank them enough. It's so much stuff they did for me, man, and they still working with me. These guys are actually paying me to work here, and I should be paying them. The only way I know that I can thank them, and I think they'll agree with, is if I keep growing, keep progressing, and keep doing what I'm doing to be a better, stronger person, to keep being a person that God was intended me to be.
We just say thank you to GABWA. Thank you for continuing to do the work that you've done and for honoring us. It is a humbling experience to receive this from GABWA because we know the great work that GABWA does and the great people that have been associated with GABWA over the years. So thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute the Davis Bozeman Law Firm.
Robert Bozeman since he was a summer associate at King & Spalding. I am so very proud of the Davis Bozeman firm, so very proud. It is nothing but a pleasure to give you this award tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final award of the evening, the Zenith Award for Political Action, is being presented to Charles S. Johnson III, I ask that you direct your attention to the video featuring Charles Johnson.
Charles S. Johnson is a seasoned trial lawyer currently practicing in the areas of public policy and complex litigation in the Atlanta office of Holland and Knight LLP. Mr. Johnson has a history of being the first as an African-American lawyer. In 1976, he was the first African-American professor at the University of Georgia's Law School. In 1979, he was the first African-American partner at a major law firm, Alston & Bird. In 1983, Johnson became the first African-American member of the Georgia State Board of Examiners, becoming the first black chairman of the board in 1987. And still today, when it comes to the pursuit of civil rights and human justice, Charles S. Johnson is among the first to recognize and protect its foundation.
Charles Johnson is probably an understated, under the radar, iconic baby boomer civil rights lawyer. Most people see him as a corporate lawyer, which he is outstanding but Charles has done tremendous things from his heritage as the grandson of Charles Johnson I, who was the first black president of Fisk University. And Charles has always been active in civil rights causes and activities. He's been a past vice president of the National Bar Association, a president of the Gate City Bar Association, and most recently he has taken up the mantle with Advocacy for Action to ensure and increase diversity on Georgia's bench.
There is an atmosphere of fairness when one walks into the courtroom and sees that there is somebody who looks like them and that maybe they have a shot at justice.
Well, Advocacy for Action is a leadership group of individuals who banded together to raise awareness about the diminishing number of African American judges. Judges are down the ballot, and many people don't even go down the ballot to vote. And of course, judges ultimately make decisions on every aspect of our lives.
2018, I had the joy and pleasure of running for election for my seat, and Advocacy for Action was one of the great supporters, informing our community about what was going on, holding forums, making sure that social media reflected what was going on, making videos, and just being very supportive of the education of the public as it relates to the judicial seats.
With a heightened awareness of the power of political office, there was a time when Charles threw his hat into the arena.
It was a fabulous experience. That's all it was an experience, because I wasn't elected. But I got to live a life of issues which I was naive enough to think was what campaigns were about. I got, a break from the practice of law. I got to meet people I never would have met otherwise, from Alpharetta to Palmetto, all across the 5th Congressional District. It was a great time.
This was a pivotal race in the community. His accomplishment list stretches a span of an entire book, or entire encyclopedia, so to speak. So it's been a pleasure just to get to know who he is, and just to learn under his tutelage. And I'm just excited to be one of his mentees.
I was the first associate member of GABWA. I've seen, the genesis of GABWA. I've seen what it's become today. I appreciate all that they do in the community. And I appreciate what they do in recognizing people's accomplishments. GABWA is one of our partners in Advocacy for Action. We appreciate that partnership, and I appreciate especially the recognition that they're presenting to me and to all of our folks, whether it's Betty Ann Hart, Thelma White Cummings Moore, Wayne Kendall, Susie Alphaberry, all of us in Advocacy for Action. Because when you honor me, you honor all of us, and I appreciate the work that you do to honor those folks that are deserving of recognition.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Charles S. Johnson III.
Mr. Johnson has never hesitated to pick up the mantle of his legacy and to continue to push the needle forward for higher advocacy for us all. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Johnson.
Let's give all of our award winners a nice big round of applause. As we've seen and heard, this year's award recipients are truly outstanding individuals and organizations. In honoring them, GABWA is privileged to recognize each of them for the incredible impact that they've had and profound difference they've made in all of our communities. At this time, GABWA Foundation would like to make a special presentation. Please join me in welcoming Sonia, Natasha Brown, GABWA Foundation President, and Charlotte Combrick, GABWA Foundation Vice President, to the stage.
Good evening. I'm Charlotte Combray, and it is a pleasure to be here. And it is a pleasure to serve alongside this lady, Sonia Natasha Brown, on the GABWA Foundation board. Representative Darshan Kendrick could not be with us this evening, but I am honored to present to you a resolution by Representative Kendrick. And it reads, recognizing and commending the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys and for other purposes. Whereas the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, GABWA, is a statewide organization founded in 1981 by a group of African American women to focus on women and children's issues, increase Black female representation in the judiciary and public offices, and take a proactive stance on political issues. And whereas GABWA's mission is to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate for women and children, and empower our communities. And whereas this esteemed association has members throughout the state of Georgia with regional chapters in Albany, Augusta, Columbus, Macon, and Savannah. And whereas GABWA's membership consists of judges, in-house counsel, Fortune 100 and 500 company employees, law firm partners and associates, solo practitioners, prosecutors, government attorneys, public interest attorneys, and law professors. And whereas the members of GABWA are elected and appointed officials, philanthropists, trailblazers, and community activists. And whereas GABWA was recognized, whereas the members of GABWA was recognized in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018 with the Award of Merit and the President's Cup by the State Bar of Georgia for its outstanding work and contributions to the legal community. And whereas in 1983, GABWA founded the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, Inc., the GABWA Foundation, a 501c3 organization to facilitate GABWA's charitable and educational activities. And whereas since 2002, the GABWA Foundation has awarded more than $400,000 in scholarships to deserving African American women, law students attending law school in the state of Georgia. Whereas the GABWA Foundation has served other segments of the community through its award-winning programs, including its Sister2Sister Mentoring Program and the Civil Pro Bono Wills Project, which in partnership with the Atlanta Legal Aid Society provides wills and advanced healthcare directives to the elderly and terminally ill. And whereas GABWA's signature fundraiser, the Glitter Gala and Auction, supports the GABWA Foundation's long-standing award-winning programs. And whereas it is abundantly fitting for this fine organization to be recognized by the state of Georgia for its commitment to improving the community and galvanizing change. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys is recognized and commended for its outstanding achievements and contributions and extended sincere best wishes for continued success. So resolved, the 21st day of June 2018. It is signed by Darshan Kendrick, Representative, District 93, the Georgia House of Representatives. And with that, you all have heard all of the good things that the GABWA Foundation and GABWA does. So you know that we are now going to make an ask for additional donations.
Are you all having fun tonight? Are you really having fun tonight? Well, we have an after party to celebrate all the work that GABWA is doing and to celebrate Mama Rita, as we affectionately call her, in celebration of her birthday tonight. But before we move into that, I want to again recognize all of the trailblazers, those who were recognized tonight for the work that they continue to do in our community. It's more than being a lawyer in the courtroom or sitting across from a client or being in an adversarial position. It's about making a change in someone's life. You heard our award recipient, Rodney Bullard, say it so well, that we are all called to be heroes. And every single one of you can be a hero tonight. We do that by being dynamic disruptors who advocate for change. We do that by changing lives and saving lives. And I ask you tonight to stand with me as a hero who is a dynamic disruptor, a force that stimulates change or makes progress within a system. We can make a change, as the Davis Bozeman firm does each and every day when they stand up for those who have no voice. We can be dynamic disruptors like a C.K. Hoffler, who takes what she has but pours back into those who do not have. We can be a dynamic disruptor by Judge Asha Jackson, who can sit high, but she always remembers those who need her most when others may have turned their back. We can be a dynamic disruptor like Linda Klein, who opens the door each and every day for women like me and so many other GABWA members. We can be a dynamic disruptor like Charles Johnson, who is willing to stand up when nobody else is willing to be a voice for those in need. And we all can be heroes because we all can make a difference. And how many of you know that every hero has a superpower? And each one of you has a superpower tonight, and you hold it in the palm of your hand. And so I ask you to join me in being a hero tonight. We are asking you not to just give to this organization. We're asking you to sow into the lives of those who need it. If I could get 4 people tonight to give $2,500, I can ensure that a law student like Natasha Banks doesn't have to worry about how she's going to pay for her bar review course when she needs it so that she can be a member of this fine organization. If I could get 5 people to stand with me and give me $1,000, we can send 20 students from our Sister2Sister program to an all-expense-paid trip to visit 3 out-of-state colleges and discover opportunities they could never dream of having. If I could get 10 people to stand with me and donate $500, we could pay for the school supplies of every single Sister2Sister mentee and provide 7 free wills to the elderly and those suffering from terminally ill diseases like HIV and AIDS. If I could get 30 people to donate $100, I could fund 10 of the 30 wonderful workshops that we host every year for our Sister2Sister mentees in both Fulton and DeKalb counties. But everyone here can be a hero. If everyone here tonight was to give $35 in recognition of our 35th anniversary, we could change the lives of so many people. I stand here on the shoulders of those who were willing to sow into me. Charlotte stands here on the shoulders of the trailblazers who give voice to the voiceless and who are willing to be an advocate for change. It doesn't take a lot to be a hero. Again, your name may not go down in the history book as somebody who did something as the first or did something to create an opportunity that others didn't create, but your name could go down in the history books because you made the change in someone's life tonight, and you made a change in saving a life that didn't know that it could be saved. And so I ask you to stand with me tonight and to be a hero. It's really, really simple. Rodney said, all of us are called to be heroes. We've all been given very much. And to whom much is given, much is required. Thank you.
All right, we're loving watching the screens as the dollar amount increases. Look at that total goal, though, $25,000. We are a little ways away from that. So we appreciate each and every one of you who's taking the time right now, using your cell phone to change lives. So eloquently put. I got to tell you, after leaving tonight, I'm ready to leave journalism and get into law. You guys, these women are amazing. That's what it is all about. I am so proud of the work that they are doing each and every day. But I know so many other young people who want to follow in those footsteps but are not able to because we know just how expensive, not just law school, but everything else you need, the books, the courses. That's what tonight is all about. We are in the fine digs of the St. Regis Hotel in Buckhead. Many of you leaving tonight to go home and enjoy yourselves. Just think of those students who are trying to figure out how they're going to put that money together for that next course, for that next book, for that next class. The silent auction is actually over, so this is an opportunity, if you weren't able to participate in that, for you to make a difference. And there were so many different price points. It's kind of like a GoFundMe, right? We know we've participated in that, and I'm going to move it along, and hopefully these screens will continue to move. Yes. 24,700. You can donate now, 24,700. GABWA Gala 2018. And then the numbers are 24,700. 24,700. Would love to see your name in lights. All right, now I'm going to move on. Now some exciting part of the evening. Our winners of the silent auction will be announced. So please welcome auction co-chair Amanda Hunter to the stage. And she will let you know if you have been successful. But still, keep looking at your phones, using your phones. We're at $6,000 now. We're getting there.
Good evening, everyone. Let's try that one more time. Good evening, everyone. I love it. Everyone, my name is Amanda Hunter. I have the pleasure of serving as this year's auction committee co-chair. Thank you all who participated in the auction. We truly and wholeheartedly appreciate it. And now it's time to announce those winners, huh? If I mispronounce your name, I do hope you will forgive me and judge it to my head and not my heart. And also, if you hear your name more than once, you are the lucky individual who has won more than one item. So, without further ado, our winners are Miss Jillian Crowell, Kamala Alexander, Amy Howell, Elimu Kanjunju, Daryl Sutton, Shari Kellogg, Tatanisha Perryman, Antoinette Ellison, Shavita McCamey, Susan Hollinger, Antoinette Ellison, Paula Frederick, Shara Sanders, Valentia Allen, Keith Lamar, Paula Frederick, Shara Sanders, go Paula, Mallory Lumpkin Dawson, Sharon Zeeley, Amy Howell, Tatiana Jones, Crystal Inikwa, Cherry Shelton, Melissa Quantanana, Keenan Nix, Daryl Sutton, Sharon Zeeley, Derica Williams, Keenan Nix, Angela Frazier, Roderick Thomas, Shara Sanders, Tywanda Lord, Tori Silas, Sharon Zeeley, Cherry Shelton, Bensonetta Lane, William Alexander, Cherry Shelton, go Cherry Shelton, Stan Seymour, Jamila McKnight, Nicole Jones, Charles Johnson, Jillian Crow, William Alexander, Salitha Butler, Jewel Johnson, Keenan Nix, Roderick Edmond, Susan Hollinger, and Seth Roach. Congratulations to all the winners, and have a great evening, everyone. I'm back again. I forgot to give you a little bit more information. To the lucky winners, when you come out the doors at the end of the program, please go to your right. You'll see a table of 3 lovely ladies, including myself, and we will check you out. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Well, what an amazing evening. Would you agree? Very inspiring, motivating, hopefully will change us as we leave these doors. Celebrating excellence. I hope you enjoyed Astoria Fair. It's been my absolute pleasure to serve as your mistress of ceremonies for the evening. I'd like to ask GABWA President Rita Treadwell to join me back on the stage for her closing remarks. But once again, please, this has been remarkable and amazing. So thank you so much for everything you all are doing each and every day. And we're moving, 8,300. Come on, keep going, keep going. You want to dance tonight, right? Need desserts. Let's keep it moving. Let's welcome Rita.
Well, halfway through my GABWA year, at the close of our gala. Did y'all have a good time tonight? Thank you very much. It feels good to do good, so thank you. Keep doing good. I see our numbers are moving. I'd like to take a moment of what we call presidential privilege and acknowledge some folks as we close. I would like to thank my firm, Nelson Mullins, for their support of me and GABWA's mission. They supported without hesitation, reservation, or pause, particularly Anita Wallace Thomas, who dipped out during the president's reception. I want to acknowledge GABWA's executive board, who's here tonight, without whom much of the work could not have been done. I would like to thank the past presidents of GABWA who have called, checked in, pushed me forward, and told me I could do this and run on. I would like to thank my GABWA sorors who have used the shield to both protect and propel me, and my Hampton family for showing love and showing up. Thank you very much. I would like to acknowledge both of my parents, my dad, who is looking down with a smile, and my mom, who is here with us. We are so very appreciative of both Reverend Massey, our invocation speaker, and this evening's mistress of ceremonies, Karen Greer. You've done a phenomenal job of keeping us on time. We say thank you for that. So we have small tokens of appreciation for each of you. To our gala co-chair, Maria Banjo, and our auction chair, Jillian Crowell, and our co-chair of the auction, Amanda Hunter, thank you for your hard work. What an incredible job each of you have done. And Lisa Collins. Oh, Lisa Collins, come on up. Lisa has been our chair for 3 years. And in that 3 years, she has raised almost $500,000. She's retiring in this role as of this year. I think we've tried a couple times to get to her agree to stay on, and we just want to say thank you with a small token. Thank you so much. She is often fond of saying, "This is a fundraiser." Yes, so thank you for keeping us on task. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. So at this time, I'm going to invite Lisa, who's already here, to come back to the podium.
Thank you all. And I just want to thank Sonia, Natasha Brown, and Rita Treadwell. They've both been very inspirational, great leaders. I've enjoyed thoroughly working with them. I also want to thank some special members of the Gala Committee. Ava Blake, can you please stand? Thank you very much for supporting us throughout in the committee. We appreciate you. I also want to thank Sana Huda. Sana, can you please stand? Thank you so much for all of your assistance. It's greatly appreciated. And last but not least, I want to thank my co-chair, Maria Banjo, who is right over there. Thank you for all of your support and hard work. We greatly appreciate it. And we have small tokens of gratitude for Sonia and Rita.
So, 9:30. I've developed a reputation this year for being on time. So thank you very much for joining us. We are closing out this gala. There's an after party. Mama Rita is celebrating her birthday tonight. We're gonna dance, we're gonna toast. So meet us out right in that same area we gathered in. So thank you. Have a very lovely evening. And donate. Thank you. Good night. Oh. Judge Harris wants us to know, we want to also wish her happy birthday this Wednesday. Thank you. Feel like a preacher.